Did you know there are Jägers that literally cook their own pilots from the inside out? Or that some have power cores so advanced that their entire blueprints were erased by government order? This isn't just a ranking of machines, it's an energy map of the Pacific Rim universe. A guide to understanding which nations bet on power and which simply burned through lives for convenience. From the most basic reactors to the most brutal biotechnological cores ever created. We're going to see how this war was fought and who truly paid the price. Because when I started researching the power cores of these Jägers, I thought it was just a technical matter, a question of efficiency and scientific progress. But what I found was something else entirely. A story of politics, urgency, and covered-up human sacrifice. Some reactors were built in days without a thought for the consequences or the pilots, just a desperate attempt to contain a threat. Others were designed in secret, using technology that shouldn't even exist. And the worst part? Many of these secrets are hidden in plain sight, yet the franchise itself never fully confirms them. So let's take a look at these 10 power cores, from the least powerful to the absolute strongest. In the number 10 spot, we have the Mark I first-generation Jägers. These were definitely not technological miracles, they were desperate solutions. Cities were falling apart, kaijus were leveling entire coastlines, and someone had to hit back. So they did it however they could. Nuclear fission reactors, crude, unstable, and toxic. They called them primary atomic cores. The priority wasn't the pilot's health, it was keeping the kaiju as far away from the financial districts as possible. These cores were so dangerous that pilots could only handle 3 or 4 missions before collapsing, literally collapsing. But there was no time for safety. The economy came first. In this radioactive hell, machines like Brawler Yukon, Romeo Blue, and a very primitive version of Horizon Brave fought. They are legendary Jägers, yes, but they were built on the bodies of hundreds of pilots. This brings us to number 9, Cherno Alpha and the Russian Resistance. Cherno Alpha wasn't just a Jäger, it was a beast of Soviet steel on steroids. Pure mass, pure power. It used a modified Mark I reactor pushed to the limit and reinforced to endure brutal hand-to-hand combat without flinching an inch. While other cores overheated in minutes, Cherno held its ground. The secret to the pilot's endurance was an experimental blood filtration system. The pilot's blood circulated through external tubes, was purified in real time, and then pumped back into their bodies. It was like a form of wartime dialysis. Russian pilots lasted longer, but they looked drugged and drained, as if they were part of the engine itself. In exchange, they commanded a massive fortress, a Jäger capable of absorbing devastating impacts and kept moving forward. Cherno is a tank with a soul, a monster with metallic skin and a radioactive heart held together by tubes and sheer willpower. At number 8, we have Coyote Tango and Tacit Ronin. With these two, everything changed. Efficiency entered the game. Japan and the United States bet on a new generation of reactors, smaller, more powerful, and more ambitious. Coyote in particular was an energetic masterpiece. It had a core capable of powering continuous attack systems without losing stability. The problem was the cost, not just the financial cost, but the radioactive one. On paper, it looked brilliant. In practice, it was a death sentence. Coyote actually killed 3 pilots and condemned the 4th. Now, Tacit Ronin wasn't much different. Agile and deadly, but with an internal system that bordered on lethal. The Jäger shined, but at the cost of consuming those who piloted it. Here, we see a pattern. The more powerful the core, the more fragile the human body becomes inside the suit. At this point, Jägers weren't just weapons anymore. They were curses for those who operated them. Moving to number 7, we have Gypsy Danger, who wasn't exactly born as a marvel. In fact, she started on the same path as Coyote Tango, radioactive, brutal, and unstable. But something happened. During her repairs, her core was redesigned. It was a massive leap forward. Gypsy kept her power, but gained a much more sophisticated radiation control system. For the first time, it seemed like someone had stopped to ask, what if the pilots don't have to die? Her new version included a full immersion suit that filtered up to 80% of radioactive damage. It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. The core remained powerful, Constant pulses, heavy weaponry, and flawless mobility. Gipsy became a symbol, not just for what she could do on the battlefield, but for what she represented. A balance between absolute power and the possibility of coming home alive. At number 6, we have the Uprising generation. When the First War ended and Gypsy's pilots became legends, nations stopped building Jägers. The threat was supposedly gone, and with it, the political interest. But as the economy surged and Jäger technology left behind significant technological breakthroughs, a virus began to spread in the minds of the powerful. What if the kaijus return? Will we be caught with our pants down again? So, in an organized effort, the Pacific War evolved. Nations collaborated, and the Defense Corps took control, deciding exactly how the new Jägers would be built. They centralized resources, energy, and design. From those decisions, models like Saber Athena, Bracer Phoenix, and Guardian Bravo were born. Modern, aesthetic, and fast, but they had one thing in common: identical, mass-produced reactors. Were they powerful? Yes. Were they stable? Also yes. Were they unique? No. There were no more national secrets or individual breakthroughs, just shared efficiency among the world's superpowers. You can tell because while these Jägers are good, they don't truly stand out. They are soldiers, but they aren't legends. Things get interesting at number 5 with Gypsy Avenger and the Australian bet. Look, Avenger is undoubtedly an energetic monster, a beast designed to endure, fire, reload, and fire again. Australia had a direct hand in Avenger's construction, and they knew exactly what they were doing. Even though they didn't share their highest tier technology, they didn't want to experiment either, so they took nuclear technology to the extreme, refining, compressing, and doubling it. Gypsy Avenger doesn't have one core, it has two. One is dedicated to movement, the other to weaponry. The result? Plasma shots that are no joke. It's no coincidence that during the most important events of the Uprising era, the Jäger guarding everything was Gypsy Avenger. Australia knew this machine had immense power and refinement, but honestly, there's no real innovation here, no evolutionary leap. Australia didn't share experimental tech or open their secret archives. They just pushed what was already known to the absolute limit. Gypsy Avenger is the ultimate war machine, the pinnacle of nuclear power, and technically the most powerful human-built Jäger on Earth. Not because it has the newest core, but because it has the best control over existing energy sources. At number 4, we have Crimson Typhoon. This is the first great anomaly, a Jäger that didn't follow classic design or safe physics. It was the first to incorporate precision-engineered dual cores, not one, but 2 reactors working in perfect symmetry. One was located in the shoulder, designed exclusively to power the massive plasma cannon in the left arm, a weapon we never truly saw in full, while the other, more conventional core supported the rest of the body. This wasn't just ambitious, it was dangerous. But China wasn't building defenses, they were building superiority. To achieve this, they pulled tech and investment from Japan and the US. They wanted the most powerful Jäger on the planet, and for a moment, they almost succeeded. Crimson Typhoon was a step forward, not because of its stability, but because it dared to play with fire. In war, the one who dares is the one who changes the rules. Speaking of changing the rules, we move to number 3, Striker Eureka. Now, many of you might wonder, only number 3 for the God Jäger? Well, technically, Eureka wasn't designed to compete. It was designed to win. Fast, lethal, precise, practically perfect. It's the only Jäger undefeated in combat, and that's no accident. Australia put everything they had into it, or at least everything they were willing to show, because its power core is a mystery. There are no complete archives, no detailed blueprints, no open technical data, only rumors, and the undeniable fact that this Jäger is a monster. Striker is faster, more powerful, and cleaner. It could operate at maximum capacity without any signs of wear. Its mobility broke every known scale. Its endurance was absurd. How did it do it? Nobody knows. Not even the engineers in charge would give up information. Original concept art actually labels Eureka as an ultra-secret project. The official version speaks of nuclear evolution, but what if it was more than that? If Australia hid the exact type of reactor used, it's because it was technically non-human technology. Perhaps the secrets of Stryker are so powerful, they never intended to share them, not even with their allies. Now you might say, you still haven't answered my question. To do that, we have to go to number 2, the drones and the bio-betrayal. What Shao Industries did wasn't just innovation, it was a mask, a shiny technological facade on the outside, but pure biotechnology on the inside, and it was incredibly dangerous. China, through Shao, was playing in a different league. While everyone else fought for energy efficiency, they were designing something else, biotechnological obedience. To achieve this, they hired Newton Geisler, a man who wasn't a hardware engineer, but an expert in kaiju biology, obsessed with the enemy's mind. For Shao, that didn't matter. The result and his scientific knowledge did. Newton created a revolutionary brain interface, a control system that eliminated traditional drift. One pilot, one mind, and the rest was handled by a kaiju core embedded inside the drone. Each Jäger drone carried a living fragment, a kaiju brain, a biological engine disguised as a support system. That is what made them so fast, so lethal, and so unpredictable. By the time it was revealed that the control system was actually a kaiju system, it was too late. The drones had become something else, neither Jägers nor kaiju, but hybrid creatures with their own consciousness and uncontrollable strength. We are talking about human technology fueled by alien intelligence, an alliance that should never have existed. These cores weren't just upgraded, they were a total fusion of kaiju biology and unknown energy systems, organic reactors that didn't need recharging. Precursor technology had become more efficient, more stable, and more dangerous than ever. Look how far we've come. As precursor technology gets closer, we reach the top spot. Number 1 belongs to Obsidian Fury, a machine with a core that is literally impossible. Obsidian is fascinating because technically it isn't a Jäger and it isn't a kaiju either. It is an artificial monster born of humanity's greatest scientific betrayal. Obsidian is the culmination of everything we've discussed, the final result of years of secret experiments, stolen tech, and twisted biology serving something we don't even fully understand. Its power core is what changes everything. It isn't a reactor, it's a living organ, a biotechnological center developed from precursor blueprints and fueled by pure kaiju blood. A single drop was enough to keep it active at maximum power for over a month. Not even the drones were on this level. Obsidian didn't just generate energy, it multiplied it. It was self-sufficient, unstoppable, and absolutely lethal. The core of Obsidian didn't just break the rules of power, it broke the rules of what is possible. It was more dangerous. It was a prophecy on legs. To give you a clear idea, to match the total energy of Obsidian, you would need the combined power of every single Jäger ever built by humanity, and then multiply that by 10 or 20. At that point, the numbers don't even make sense anymore. They're absurd. They're from another universe. Because that is what Obsidian is, the end of human logic applied to war. What we've just seen isn't just a list of cores, it's a timeline of escalation, a record of how humanity went from creating solutions to manufacturing mistakes with irreversible consequences. Each generation of Jägers reflected a political moment, a fear, or a desperate decision. First came urgency, then efficiency, and finally ambition. But with every advancement, we lost something. First, the pilot's health, then our ethics, then control, and finally, our very identity. While we thought we were building weapons, we were actually handing the soul of war to the enemy. The most powerful cores weren't human, they were biological, living, and foreign to everything we once understood as technology. And that is the most terrifying part. Not that we lost control, but that at some point in this franchise, we stopped being truly human and slowly became the precursors ourselves. If you made it this far, thank you so much. I know this wasn't just a simple top 10, because behind every reactor is a story of power, war, and broken humanity. If this video got you thinking, I invite you to leave your opinion in the comments. I want to read what you think.
Which Jäger stood out to you and which ranking surprised you the most? If you enjoy this type of content, subscribe to the channel. There are many more stories behind this incredible franchise that deserve to be told. See you in the next video.